Welcome to Audio Products Podcast. We are meeting with pro audio industry veterans, founders, product managers, UX designers, to learn how they build and manage the products we all love. You will get tips how to navigate your career in audio and how to develop a successful audio product, from musical instruments through audio plugins and gaming middleware up to music distribution platforms or consumer electronics like headphones, mics, and even automotive speaker systems. Enjoy!
Hello everyone, this is Wojtek, and welcome to the 28th episode of Audio Products Podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, you see I have no guest today. This will be a solo episode. And in today's solo episode, I would like to explain a bit more what Audio Product Academy is beside Audio Product Podcast. So probably if you are not new to Audio Product Podcast, you know that I host this for almost 2 years, 1 year and a half. I also organized meetups in Berlin. Right now we're organizing one in Helsinki and we're just moving to next countries. So you probably can figure out by listening, by, reading the content that my small mission is to help people to learn how to build audio products, right? You want to build and manage audio products. So today's episode will be a little bit about that. But before we start, I want to actually remind that on April 16th, we are hosting Audio Product Jam. So this is the meetup I already mentioned for audio product folks. I mean, not only product managers, founders, UX designers, QAs, whatever, right? And it will be in Helsinki, and it will be hosted together with Oaksound, IcePower, and Neural DSP. So first of all, actually, before I explain a little bit more and show what we are cooking in this meetup, I would like to give a shout out to our sponsors. So first of all, to Oaksound, who is so great to host us in their headquarters in Helsinki. And if you're into music production, mixing, mastering, you cannot you have to know Oaksound, right? It's a plugin company from Helsinki, known mostly from the plugin Sooth, high-end dynamic resonance suppressor, designed to automatically identify, remove harshness, sibilance, and unwanted resonance from audio. Very famous plugin loved by, top-end mixing and mastering engineers. Secondly, our main sponsor of the event, IcePower Audio, it's a Copenhagen-based audio company that specialize in high power class D amplification, that designs and builds the amplifiers inside some of the world's class and respected audio brands, from studio monitors and hi-fi to live sound and on the biggest stage. So partner choose IcePower for the combination of reference grade sound quality, proven reliability, turnkey capabilities, and integrations support. Simply put, they power the best sounding brands. And also, third of ours, the last sponsor, Neural DSP. Of course, everybody knows Neural DSP, another Finnish brand, founded in 2018 in Helsinki. That is known from creating high-end guitar and bass modeling software and hardware. Their products, notably Quad Cortex, and some artist plugins use neural networks to accurately capture and simulate the sound of the tube amplifiers. So, once again, I would like to thank you to the sponsors of the meetup. Again, we can share the knowledge and help students. There will be plenty of students in Helsinki. So we can actually help new generation of audio nerds as well. Yeah, but I mean, what's actually Audio Product Jam, if I can say a little bit more, it's a meetup. So the free event hosted in those locations that we have a strong audio industry, where we share, where industry veterans share the knowledge about how they build and market and sell audio products. So it is not not necessarily only engineering, it's mostly business. And if you're just watching, you can see here some pictures from the previous events in Berlin. So this was actually the first one that we hosted. It was so successful. Here you can see me with Gustav Elmer. He was the guest on the I can't recall right now. Let me actually check. He was on, I think, 18th or 19th episode of the podcast. So when I was in Berlin, we recorded an episode. He's a former director of design in Native Instruments, so a company that, again, everybody should know. Let me actually see. There were so many. 17th, exactly. I was right. So it was back in 2025 when we hosted this. So Gustav is organizing those meetups in Berlin with me. It's just such a cool thing. You can see here's the picture from second edition in Berlin. The main theme of the event was launching products. So we're discussing go-to-market and some difficulties and tips on how to launch products. Yep. So these are here is Stefan Mauer, who is a head of product in Georg Neumann, Sennheiser's brand, famous microphones. Yeah, so he was sharing his experience in launching products. So if you are listening on Spotify, Apple Podcast, any other platform, you can't just see the pictures. You can actually see the links to these previous events in the description of the podcast. So you can click and look later how we organize them. Right. So the upcoming event is in Helsinki, like I mentioned. With the strong Finnish and local brands, and one from Denmark, Ice Power, and we'll have actually great presentations by actually representatives of those three companies. So they will actually share their experience about design and management and sales of audio products. So a great combination of a design, product management, and commercial aspects as well, and very important one, but very often omitted, especially by startups, right? So this is the event. You can again click in the link in the description. Unfortunately, it's already all the passes were already distributed. We don't have any more place. But if you're listening from Finland or neighboring countries, there is still a waiting list. So if somebody drops, you can register, and if there's a free slot, will you can still get in, or at least sign up to the list. So next time there will be an event, you will see. We are using Eventbrite to the platform for distributing tickets. You can follow up there, and you don't get any marketing communication. It's purely for your distribution of tickets and for those events, free tickets, of course. Yeah. So we are not only doing this for senior people from the industry, but there is plenty of students. We always have a dedicated pool of tickets for students, so they can get inspired by some great industry veterans, right? Okay, so I promised in the beginning of this episode that I will tell a little bit what Audio Product Academy is. So also how did it start? So I had a pretty rough career, right? I was actually trying to build a startup, doing music. I was just doing so many different things. So that's why I'm very sensitive to see, to other people's struggles. And I can actually see that a lot of people, some friends and colleagues actually who love audio or who, were musicians or they are still active musicians, they really would like to love to work in audio, but actually they sometimes they have hard time finding their own path into the industry, especially that we don't have actually right now a perfect situation. There are so many layoffs and obviously insolvency. We heard like a famous insolvency of Native Instruments. So it's not that easy. I can see people attend AES shows, they go to, other shows. But I still, maybe they can't somehow find a way to find their own path, right? I can also see that some experienced practitioners in audio are forced to rely on generic knowledge. So I'm not sure if you remember from the previous episode, Brad Swanson, head of product from the Pro Sound Effects from New York. He also mentioned that he's actually like a accomplished, experienced product manager. He worked previously in Isotope. Currently, he's head of product in Pro Sound Effects. Experienced musician. And he says that, I use Marty, I read books like Marty Kagan from Silicon Valley Product Group. I can see some of my colleagues on LinkedIn, for example, I can see sometimes they share diplomas or some certificates from, other course platforms or companies. So there isn't anything that is specifically for product builders in audio, wider audio. And so that's why actually I founded Audio Product Academy. It's a learning platform focused on this specific thing, providing resources on how to build and grow audio products. Yeah. But I think it's very important to say, because I'm not sure why, but people very often confuse that this is not a platform for people who would like to learn mixing and mastering. This is not a platform where we actually use how to learn how to use specific plugins, virtual instruments, synth programming. No, there's actually plenty of content like this. And we are actually doing behind the scenes. So the goal of this of our project is to provide resources for people who are really into building a product. So whether this is a startup and you would like to build your own plugin and actually make some money and like a live of of your passion, or you are a product manager in an established company like the one I'm working for, or actually you are a career switcher, right? And you would like to join the industry. This is, the place where you can find the resources. So I think it's very important to say it's not only about the frameworks, right? It's not only, understanding the product discovery, how to do research and how to do product specification. I would like to, at least that's my small dream, is actually to build a platform, really like a business platform. So how to actually make successful products that make money, right? I'm not actually obsessed with growth. And I think a lot of people actually love audio industry because we are not so obsessed with growth as some company from Silicon Valley. Big tech bros. But still, we are making business to make money, right? So I think that's the difference. It's not only specific technologies. So we actually using specific, even in the software, right? Specific programming languages, C++, Juice, framework, how we build plugins. There is obviously a lot of DSP knowledge required and a lot of other stuff. But also this this understanding how creative people behave, and that our customer group is customers are very specific people who we build tools for creators. Even if this is not just music production, but game audio, it's also producing entertainment and super cool products, very creative products. And even if we build sound reinforcement, also our clients will not be the end consumer, end user, and people who go to the concerts, but of course, people who organize concerts and build halls, they are just also nerds. They want to deliver the best experience to music lovers, right? So it's very important. So like I mentioned, there is actually plenty of great frameworks, like PDMA, Pragmatic Institute, I already mentioned Marty Kagan, Lean Startup, perfect book for especially for startup funders. I had on the podcast, I'm not sure if you watched and remember, the co-founder of Noiseworks, this German startup that made this amazing plugin Dynasys that I used a lot for editing this podcast. Currently, they actually launching the new product called Voice Assist, even better. I mean, loved by so many producers. And when I ask him, what kind of knowledge was actually the best books for funders, he says like a Lean Startup and I think Innovator's Dilemma by I'm not sure I don't remember the author, the professor from I can't recall the name. Yep, but that's those two books he recommended. Yeah, so you can see there is plenty of stuff, but you need to somehow translate it to audio. And I think I'm in a good position because on one hand I work at Avid, so I can see how, and I mean, I have also experience with some immersive audio technologies. On the other hand, I was a president for PDMA's Central Europe, so the oldest association for product managers in the world. I've been teaching product management for, at least 10 years. So I know how to create good content and how to effectively teach. So that's why I figure out it could be actually great to, to provide more resources than just podcast. Yeah, so I know how these frameworks are actually pretty practical, and that's actually funny because I can see there is some kind of shame, or some people say, if you're a framework guy, this means that you're not mature enough, right? So you have to create your own methodology, and frameworks are just for rookies. And the funny thing, that I know also very experienced entrepreneurs who actually study frameworks and they try to bring them into their companies, and especially if you have an engineer who becomes a CEO. So actually, I learned that it's great to use very practical and frameworks that are already tested on the market and liked. But again, they're just built for generic products, very often for software as a service, right? So subscription-based services, and in audio, first of all, we have hardware, and that's already not relevant, but also even in the software, music software, people don't love subscriptions that much. And secondly, the cultural thing. Yeah? When I went to Berlin and we had this discussion during the meetup, there was a colleague from an American guy who moved to Berlin, I think 20 or so years ago. And he says that, I left Silicon Valley because it's all about money right now. These people are completely obsessed, right? They're just crazy. It's just like greed and power. So I hope that actually audio will never be completely taken over by this kind of behaviors. I don't think it can, because ultimately we don't have such a big growth, and musicians and producers are not like a super rich people, so we can see that even very successful audio companies, you can't become a unicorn, right? That's good, because at least we don't attract people, crazy sociopaths, right? And narcissistic people. We can stay sane, so to speak, right? So that's the idea behind Audio Product Academy. Is just to bring the best, like practical frameworks, to bring practical experience. Of course, as a product person, as a product manager, product director. Very important, not just by me. Of course, the podcast, you can see that we bring I hope that I will keep bringing the most amazing entrepreneurs and executives and founders. I already have some cool guests coming up in this year. Of course, earlier this year we had Andrew Sheps and Jordan Rudess, so you cannot get any better. But I still have some cool guests planned for this year. We obviously have the newsletter. I'm not sure if you already read it, but if you don't, you should definitely sign up to the newsletter, because it's, again, not just by me, but one of the authors is Michael Wasserman from Tel Aviv. He's a former product manager in Waves Audio, very experienced and hardware guy, and with deep DSP knowledge. So it's just, I'm just so humbled, and that Michael decided, to work. To write articles for our newsletter and for our blog. And Zach Hauser, who is chief editor-in-chief of our monthly newsletter. So he's putting the content together and also making great reviews and market overviews. He's a Billboard charting mastering engineer. He's also like a very interested in product management and very deep knowledge of the market. So to get together, three of us, sometimes also some of our guests, like from Safari Audio, or we have also articles from Max Schaffer, who recently won his first round. We got $1 million for his audio AI startup, not just for noise. So we have actually pretty cool content there. And again, not just by me, because I'm just like a humble, one guy who makes, stuff. And my knowledge is, of course, very limited. But I do hope that we'll actually bring other authors, who writes also in quality assurance and UX, UI, so this kind of stuff. Yeah. But generally speaking, in terms of education, I can see that you can find a lot of good product content. So Marty Kagan and product operating model transformed his latest book. You can find a lot of audio content. Well, I haven't actually found good product management content for audio, to be very honest. And we can see these courses don't translate very well into audio world. Guys, so again, those who actually watch the podcast on YouTube, they can actually see something I would like to show. If you are listening on Spotify or Apple Podcast, I strongly encourage you to, when you finish listening, to go to the link that is in the description, because I'm extremely excited to share with you the new platform and website, audioproductacademy.com, and you can see right now on the screen if you're just watching on YouTube. Again, the link is also provided in the description. So we are just boosting our efforts and and launching the course platform. So as you can see here, this is the link you have to bookmark and remember. As you can see, there are already 3 placeholders. Those courses are not available yet. You have Introduction to Audio Product Management, Finance for Product Managers and Funders, and AI Augmented Product Manager. So 3 courses. As you can see, not all by me. AI Product Manager is actually by Tomek Żernicki, co-founder of Zilia, microphone and immersive audio tools company. So he's actually very much into using AI as a leverage, as a workflow productivity tool, and all his knowledge is actually in this. It will be shared in this course. So you can see here. If we go there inside, you can see the entire curriculum of this course. How to build your product strategy with AI, specifications, filling the backlog, all the automation. You can see, you can actually watch like a short video, providing some information, basic information, and some sneak peek into the course. And if you're interested, you can simply click notify, and you can sign up and to the mailing list and get notified when the course is actually available. Yeah. So actually self-paced courses. So the one I'm super excited to share is the Introduction to Audio Product Management. You can see the agenda, the curriculum is actually pretty long. This is going to be you see like so many things, so like introduction about the product management, ideation and strategy. So building, like where to take problems from to solve, modeling, financial modeling, validation, prototyping, delivering the product, launching the product, so all this like basic information. So, for career switcher, for students, perfect course, right? Not necessarily for experienced product managers. But those who are just trying to get into the industry, it's a perfect course. And the last one, it's actually something I taught for a while as a workshop, but since I have my daily work and the podcast, so I don't have enough time to teach those workshops very often. So I'm actually recording this course. It's a finance for product managers and funders. And again, it's not like a accountings and financial controlling. I don't have this knowledge. Actually, I studied management, business administration. So I do have some experience and knowledge about it, but it's more about what product manager or a founder should know in context of finance, and what kind of metrics to use, how to calculate ROI and return on payback period, so really to understand financial aspects of your product decisions. Yeah. So again, you can watch the curriculum here, specifically what metrics you see, like ROI, IR, new net present value, CapEx, OpEx, some growth metrics, retention, customer acquisition costs. It's a nice course. At the end of this, there's actually a template for building your P&L. So you should be able to put together a budget for your product. Important is also not for product managers, also for funders, because I learned that a lot of funders they're very excited, and they just, Excel can accept any figure, right? So you have to be very careful when putting together the budget, and there are some cool tips and techniques how you can recalculate, for example, your sales forecast if you are new to the market, stuff like this, right? So how to minimize the risk, so simply speaking, yeah. So that's why I think this course is also perfect for funders, not only for product managers, yeah. So as you can see, I already mentioned this earlier in the podcast, that the idea behind Audio Product Academy, it's not just platform for audio product managers. And you can see those filters here. You can see there is actually engineering, product marketing, project management, So there will be a course very soon. You will see another tile with another course, which will be about the project management, delivery, right? Sound design. There is also aspect, if you build musical instruments, there is also aspect of, sound design, and also in game audio testing, or I don't know how I should maybe call it quality assurance, but it's not just, product testing. It's really like across the entire life cycle, how to manage the quality of the product. And of course, design, UX design, industrial design, anything related, to designing the products. This list of those categories it's not exhaustive. So I'm planning to add actually entrepreneurship. You already know Tomasz, he was on the podcast actually twice, and he will actually record more courses, I hope, if time allows. And he will also pour his knowledge about the scaling companies, right? I mean, his actually great passion is, scaling the business. So it's not only like how to put together a product, but actually how to, manage entire product company, audio company. So I'll just keep adding courses here. And of course you can find here our podcast. Yeah. So the one you're listening to, you can see our latest episode with, game audio. Krzysiek, who is an audio department manager at Nasher Studios, but previously worked in CD Projekt Red, this famous AAA studio from Poland. And, plenty of other episodes. So all those, you can, they're here. This is our blog, so if you haven't subscribed to our newsletter, you can obviously read those articles straight on our website. There is actually so many of them already. You see by Michael, by Zach, by me, by CP, who was a speaker at the one of the audio product jams in Berlin, and Vagiv, our former marketing manager. So plenty of great resources in here. Oh no, I'm actually from Safari Audio. Yeah, and if actually like those articles and you want to get this like a monthly compilation of this content, you can subscribe here. Go to Audio Products newsletter, click at the bottom right, and subscribe. Again, no spam, just once a month, and information, right? What kind of podcasts episodes are coming, what new articles we have written for you once a month. Yeah, so this is how our website look like. Please bookmark this page because there will just be more content. There will be also like a meetups, and we'll just keep growing. So that's I'm super excited that it's actually coming together finally. Okay, so that's the thing I wanted to share today. Again, I would like to thank you to the sponsors of Audio Product Jam in Helsinki. It's actually in 3 weeks and a half that we are moving we're just flying to Helsinki to sit together, like eat pizza, have a beer, and listen to some really great case studies. One will be actually by the product designer and product owner from Sound. So there's like a philosophy of building the Scores plugins. Andrew Cresswell from Ice Power will talk about the B2B sales. So, how to build the commercial side of the audio company. And Henry from Neural DSP, a program manager. So will be a lot of product delivery and also how to manage complex portfolios. He's just managing quite a complex portfolio. I mean, of products and plugins and releases. Yeah. So thank you again. Yeah. I just wonder actually what else, can I mention? Yeah, I mean, maybe it's important to mention that there will be one more interesting audio jam before summer holiday in Stockholm. I don't want to provide the date yet. I mean, we already locked the date, but we're just like planning everything. So, stay tuned. And there will be one more jam in the Scandinavian region and in Stockholm. Unfortunately, no meetup before holiday in Berlin, but we are still discussing doing one maybe after summer holiday. And also if you are maybe going to Superbooth in Berlin this year in the beginning of May, I'll be there. I don't travel a lot nowadays. I'm just like so squeezed. I have so much work, doing the podcast and courses, etc. I couldn't really go to LA this year. But yeah, you can meet me at Superbooth. That's the show I never miss. That's the best place for me personally. It's just like a bit anti-capitalist, and it's more, although it's a trade show, it's still more like has this flavor, Berlin flavor, which is so cool. Yeah, a bit anarchistic and like a music focus rather than just company presentations and stuff. Yeah. All right. So remember, audioproductacademy.com. I don't want to sound, like a self promotion, but this is gonna be a central place where you can find all these resources, of which a lot of them free, and we continue pushing. So stay tuned, and also stay tuned for the podcast, because I'm we're just recording pretty cool episodes and releasing them in the next cycle. All right. Thank you so much, and see you around.
Thank you for listening to this episode. I hope you liked it. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and of course on our YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe to it and hit the bell, because we publish a lot of interesting videos there, not just the episodes. You can also become a supporter and get premium content like additional reading, unpublished videos on our Buy Me a Coffee page, linked in the description of this episode. See you in the next one. Yo.